markets rose last week on weaker-than-expected GDP and manufacturing PMI data in the US, as investors rushed to raise expectations for a June rate cut by the US Fed. Gold price jumped by more than 2%, while major stock indices such as USA 100 and USA 500 hit fresh new all-time highs yet again. The US dollar, on the other hand, responded negatively to weak US economic data. In the energy markets, crude oil price tested its highest price since November 2023, while natural gas price extended its recovery by another 9%. The markets are expected to focus on the next set of US economic data to be released this week. Non-farm payrolls data for February is expected to be released on Friday. Before the event, Fed Chair Jerome Powell will testify before the US Congress. He will speak on Wednesday and Thursday. Also, this week, the markets will continue to watch the ongoing stock market rally driven by AI Nvidia and AMD, both hit fresh all-time highs. In Europe, the European Union made Apple investors nervous, fining the company around $2 billion. Apple lost initially more than 2%, hitting its lowest price in 4 months after the European Union said it would fine Apple around $2 billion due to misconduct regarding its music streaming services. The final announcement was a result of a 5-year investigation, but Apple will soon appeal against the decision. According to the investigation, Apple allegedly abused its position regarding its music streaming business, causing damage to its competitors. Since the start of the year, Apple has lost around 9%. AMD continued to add value in late February as the stock gained around 15% last week. The stock continued to rise in sympathy with the AI euphoria that has taken the whole sector to new highs. The company remained committed to its AI chip development after bringing its newest MI300 Instinct chip to the market in late 2023. In addition to that, the AMD's high-end MI300X chip has already showed a strong performance as Nvidia's AI chips, which continue to dominate the industry. Since the beginning of the year, the AMD stock has risen around 40%. The crude oil price rose 5.78% last week, testing its highest level since November 2023. Crude oil's price traded briefly above the psychological mark of $80 as the ceasefire negotiations between Hamas and Israel failed to deliver stability to the markets. In fact, Israel indicated once again that they will not accept Hamas's delusional demands, which reduces chances for a deal. In addition, OPEC Plus is now seen extending its current cuts into Q2 of 2024 in an attempt to keep the markets balanced. Later this week, investors will focus on the U.S. oil weekly inventory data to be provided by the U.S. Energy Information Administration on Wednesday. The gold price went up additionally last week as the U.S. GDP Q4 showed lower than expected growth rate of 3.2%, expected 3.3%. In addition to that, the U.S. ISM manufacturing PMI data brought back some worries to the markets after printing worse than expected figures for February, 47.8 versus 49.5 expected. Later this week, Fed Chair Jerome Powell will testify before the U.S. Congress on Wednesday and Thursday. On Friday, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics will release its latest job numbers in the form of non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate data. Natural gas continued to recover, testing its highest price in almost a month. The price did recover around 9% last week and has added around 5% since the start of this week. Earlier this week, the largest natural gas producer in the US, EQT, announced production cuts that will take place in March. The firm said they will cut their production by 1 billion cubic feet per day in March, and all that in response to the very low natural gas price. Later this week, on Thursday, the U.S. Energy Information Administration will release its latest weekly natural gas storage data. The USD CAD has continued to rise, extending its winning streak into the fourth week, as the pair has tested its highest level since December 2023. The pair rose to 1.36, adding around 2.6% since the start of the year. Later this week, the US dollar could be expected to rise in volatility as Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaks before the US Congress on Wednesday and Thursday, while the US Bureau of Labor Statistics will release its latest job numbers on Friday. In Canada, employment data for February will be released on Friday as well, which could increase volatility on this currency pair.